Well, welcome back to the Tradesman channel where every day is Groundhog's Day and we just keep doing the repetition thing, which is okay. It means we have progress. Well, now you see I'm dressed up in gloves and coat and all that good stuff, trying to keep my lady parts from getting too cold. And we're going to keep going on some sheathing, and that's what we're doing tonight. Another late start, a lot of stuff going on right now, but that's okay. As long as I can get out here and do something, I always feel good about it. So this will probably be a short one tonight, guys, because the last one was a little bit long, so I'm not going to drag you through a 16, 18-minute video of the same stuff, but we're just, like I said, always keep you in the loop of progress. So anyway, here we go. Let's get started. We'll get the saw going. We'll get the drill out and keep plugging away. What do you think? Got quite a bit more done tonight. Not too bad for not getting out here till really late, which, if you guys haven't noticed watching this channel for a while, that's how it usually goes. I get out here middle of the night, you know, and all the rest of the chores are done, and we put a couple hours in here, a couple hours in there, but all the progress, it adds up. And like I said in the last video, the echo's getting more and more in here. So I've got a few more boards left that are cut I could put on, but I have to rip some more forms up on this side. They're actually in the way on this side where they weren't on the other side. Some lazy bastard didn't pull them up after the concrete was cured, but hey, what are you gonna do, okay? It's just the way I work. But anyway, that's what we have. We're gonna keep going a couple more weeks. When the funds become available, I'm gonna go get another truckload of siding boards, and that should pretty well take us where we need to go for finishing that off. Remember, a lot of the boards from this truckload ended up becoming floorboards upstairs, and I still have more of those to put on. So we're making progress. It's coming along. Well, maybe another truckload and a half, because I forget we still had about half of this side to go. So not too bad though. We're getting there. We're gonna have to build some temporary doors on this thing. I'll frame those out with 2x material or 1x or whatever. Get some cheap ass OSB board and just at least get it closed in, and then come winter time we'll be able to work in here. It'll actually be nice. Now, I'm not going to cut any windows in or do any of that until after this is all. I'm going to be waiting on that until I'm done. Reason being, when I go to set the forge up and things like that, I'm not caring so much about windows for aesthetics on the outside. We'll do something fancy and the big sliding doors on each end, but you guys will have to stay tuned for that. But I have a bunch of freezer doors that I've taken out of supermarkets. They're double pane. It's almost 1/4 inch thick glass, double pane safety glass. And I'm going to be taking the frames out to get single panes, and we're going to be making a lot of the windows out of those. For what I do on the doors, I've scrounged some standard door glass, you know, from old entrance doors to houses and stuff like that. So we got a lot to go, but the window making and all that, we're not even going to bother with any of that until this thing's all built. It's all closed up and the wood shop set up. A couple comments to address. Smoke coming off of the circular saw in the last video. that was steam. These boards are very green. It was quite cold out, and that's the way it happens. A lot of pitch in these. I don't know if you could see that, but some better light. No burn marks on those. They're just really green, really wet. And some of you can tell if you saw in the last video that gable end wall there where the sun hits this. Now that it's, we're getting on towards winter and the sun's more of a southern exposure, those boards are already shrinking. Thing with green siding, if you guys, if you're planning on using it for permanent siding, you may want to dry it for quite a while before you put it on there. That way when you put it on, you can put it up as tight as you can get it. I recommend a shiplap, something like that, but don't put it up green if it's going to be your final siding. Even when you put bats on, I'm just not a big fan of board and batten. I've used it before, and I just never cared for it too much. Not without some kind of a sheathing layer and a vapor barrier. If you have that, it's fine. But to act as both your sheathing and your final siding, it just does not keep the moisture out the way you need it to. Not for a building like this. Now, I've also had another question on whether I'm going to allow this to dry out before I totally seal it up, and I will be. It's going to be green for a lot of years to come. Remember, inch a year per thickness is a standard rule for lumber drying. So with our 10 by 16s, our 10 by 10s, the water moisture will be out of them fairly quickly. It's already leaving them, except for the damn rain all the time that we've had this year. But as far as the greenness, the sugars in the wood, stuff like that, it's going to be a long time before that dries out. So this thing's going to be drying and shrinking for a long time. My concern for moisture that I want to make sure is out of here is all the rain moisture. Wood will rot left exposed. You leave it exposed long enough, it's going to rot. Doesn't matter what kind of wood it is. Some woods are going to rot faster than others. You find where it rots really fast is when it cannot dry out. If you can get it to dry out, you can usually make it go for a while. I've got some pine around here. Well, the siding on that little shop over there, that's all pine. It hasn't been treated with anything. I built that 5-6 years ago. There's no rot, none of that on there. But it gets rained on, snow, the elements all the time. Probably another 5, 6, 7, 8, who knows how many years. But in so many years I'll have to address some with that. I should stain it. That's one of those things I have not gotten around to. This barn will be stained when we're all said and done, but anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's a short one, but we're just trying to get as much progress, even if it's just a little bit here and a little bit there. And I usually don't work on this thing unless it's pouring rain out. I'll work on it without the camera running, but I like to have the camera on while I'm doing this, and it gives you a good idea of actually how long everything takes when you got a lot of other stuff going on. It can be done though. Don't let it daunt you. I worry about the thing rotting, but I'm pretty sure I'll be all right with it. So anyway, have a good evening. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.